Welcome back here with Wockhardt on CNBC TV 18. Habil Khorakiwala has resigned as the managing director of Wockhardt. Murtaza, his son, will take over the reins of the company. Wockhardt has been referred to a CDR process, or a corporate debt restructuring process, for financial restructuring. So on What's Hot Tonight, we ask, what next for Wockhardt? Joining us is Vikas dandekar of farmasianews.com and our very own Archie Damania. Archie, let me come to you first. What are the details that you have as far as the CDR process is concerned?
Yes, thanks a lot for that. Wockhardt is referring itself to corporate debt restructuring cell, and they will be doing this through ICICI Bank. Now, this was impending because Wockhardt has a very high debt. It has a debt of 3,400 crores as on December 31st, 2008. Now, its debt to equity ratio is also very high. Its debt is almost twice its equity, and if you look at its debt to market capitalization ratio, it is 300%. It's about $110 million worth of FCCB come into conversion in October 2009, which are at the price of over 600 rupees per share, which obviously wouldn't be converted at this price. So they would have to arrange for cash for that payback as well. The concerns of all these concerns first started showing up in the first quarter of calendar year 2008, when it first came to the surface that Wockhardt had not disclosed its forex losses for a few quarters. Now, what we also learned that Mr. Habil Khorakiwala has resigned as the managing director of the company. His son Murtaza Khorakiwala will be appointed as additional director and managing director, which is obviously subject to shareholder approval. But the fourth quarter results were also supposed to come out today, which did not come out, and the company has stated the reason, saying that due to potential restructuring of audit, the audit could not be completed, and they have said that the audit for full calendar year 2008 will be completed by April 25th, and which is when we will also see the results of Wockhardt.
Many thanks for that, Archie, for that. Vikas, let me come to you. You know, when you speak to analysts, you get the feeling that they saw this coming.
Yes, indeed. In fact, in December, Rothschild, which actually gave some advices to Wockhardt, one of the advice was on refinancing and recalibrating Wockhardt's finances. It did mention about getting loans sanctioned from relationship banks. It also had referred to selling off assets, which included nutraceuticals, which included animal healthcare business, which also had given a fair valuation for the biologicals business of Wockhardt. So all of this was something that was actually being considered by the company. At the same time, there was also talk about fresh investments coming from some multinational companies. Now, that part also cannot be ruled out, as we also know that by May, there could be some news that can be coming on the Irish operations of Wockhardt, which is Pinewood, and there are bids already. We also hear that there are some shortlisted candidates also for that bid, and the valuations have been also reasonably good. So all of these taken together, the corporate debt restructuring, getting investments from some fresh players, and selling off some crucial assets could probably put the company back on track.
But speaking of hiving off assets, because as you pointed out, at this point in time, given the fact that the company is in a financially crippled situation, do you think they're actually going to be able to get optimal asset value?
Oh, definitely not. That's exactly what many bankers have been pointing out, that it probably will not fetch them the right value. But conditions are very different from what it was when Wockhardt actually bought Pinewood in 2006. Given that the operations are definitely doing very well, and Wockhardt will have to take a call on hiving off some of its assets which are giving profits. So, from a seller's point of view, it definitely doesn't look to be a very good deal, but conditions are such that it will be compulsive on Wockhardt's part to really part with some of its crucial operations.
Because just a quick point on Habil Khorakiwala himself. I mean, he's a veteran in the industry, and you've seen him over several years. What has really gone wrong over the last couple of years? I mean, once that IPO for the Wockhardt hospital sort of got shelved, since then one has seen a steady decline, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's been a tough chairman. He's known to be a very tough taskmaster, At the same time, he's been one of the most visionary, chairmen or promoters of a company. No Indian company is probably as ready for a biosimilars opportunity in the US as Wockhardt is. I mean, they started working on biopharmaceuticals and insulin, and this also has come out very well on the Rothschild report. I mean, all of its businesses are definitely very strong. It went to the extent of having some kind of an acquisition plan of Andrax many years ago, where it went to bid for $1.9 billion, but Watson came from behind and took it for $1.8 billion. So in terms of having global vision and plans, Habil Khorakiwala was definitely on track, but the financial mess-up was something that really came as a surprise for many of the CEOs. And Wockhardt, all that we can say is probably the fall, company. It's not to do with any mismanagement. It's just that the markets have tumbled.
Right, Vikas. So in 10 seconds, you're saying there still is enough meat left in Wockhardt to be able to attract an investor.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at it from a multinational angle, it's got everything that a multinational will look at: a strong presence in the domestic formulations business, contract manufacturing with companies like Amylin, J&J and Pfizer, having a very strong presence in Europe to the extent of about $400 million in revenues. I don't think there is anything wrong operationally so far as Wockhardt is concerned. It's just that the operations have to be streamlined and the finances have to be restructured.
All right, Vikas Dandekar, we will leave it there. Many thanks indeed for joining us, Vikas Dandekar there of FarmAsiaNews.com.